Everyone's always chasing viral hacks and secret algorithms. But what if I told you a brand added over $1 million in revenue in just 1 year by doing the exact opposite? This is the story of how they did it, using the boring fundamentals of SEO. We're going to break it down step by step.
Yup, you saw that right. Over $1 million. And let's be super clear here. This isn't their total revenue. This was the extra cash they generated completely from non-branded organic search. We're talking about brand new customers finding them just by Googling for products, not for the brand name itself. It's pure growth.
And the ROI? It was a staggering 15x. Let me put that in perspective for you. For every single dollar they put into this SEO strategy, they got $15 back in new sales. That's the kind of return that changes the game for a business.
Now this number, 409, this is what market dominance looks like. That's how many new #1 rankings they snatched on Google for their most important keywords. They weren't just getting on the first page, they were claiming the absolute top spot, putting their products right in front of thousands of ready-to-buy customers.
So, what was the big secret? A viral TikTok campaign? Some kind of clever algorithm hack? Nope, none of that. Their success really came from a disciplined, repeatable, and frankly, pretty straightforward strategy. So let's unpack exactly what they did. Their entire success was built on this simple 4-part blueprint. And you'll see, there's nothing here that's revolutionary on its own. The real magic was in how they executed it. This is the exact roadmap that led to those million-dollar results. So here they are, the 4 pillars. See how it's broken down? It starts with content. First, they fixed up and optimized what they already had. Then, they built out new content to expand their reach. It was only after that strong foundation was in place that they moved on to building authority. They used internal links to connect everything, and then, finally, they built targeted backlinks to really amplify their power. Let's walk through each one. Okay, so these first 2 steps were all about getting the content right. Before they could even think about links or authority, they had to make sure their own website was a rock-solid, valuable resource, not just for customers, but for search engines too. This was the bedrock for everything that came next. And this is the problem they started with. A lot of their pages were what SEOs call thin content. Just picture it. You land on a page, it says leggings at the top, and then it's just a grid of products. That's it. For a search engine like Google, there's not a lot there to understand what the page is really about or why it deserves to rank. So the fix was, honestly, surprisingly simple. They took those thin pages and just added 300 to 400 words of helpful, descriptive copy. This one little change gave Google all the context it was missing. Suddenly, the search engine could understand the page's purpose and rank it for the right searches. And get this, they didn't have to wait a year to see if it worked. Just by optimizing the pages they already had, these were the results in the first 3 months alone. Over 250 new top 3 rankings for valuable terms like Pilates outfits. This initial push had a massive and almost immediate impact. Okay, so once they'd shored up their existing pages, they moved on to expansion. The strategy here was to build a moat around their main product categories. What that really means is they wanted to create new pages to capture every possible way a customer might search for their products, especially those super specific long-tail searches. For example, instead of just having one big page for leggings, they created new dedicated pages for black leggings, flare leggings, and scrunch leggings. Every single one of those new pages created a new doorway for a very specific, motivated buyer to find them. And they did this for every single product category they had. All right, time for the second half of the blueprint, boosting authority. With that amazing content foundation in place, the next 2 steps were all about sending strong signals to search engines that this content wasn't just good, it was important and trustworthy. The third pillar was internal linking. Now, think of your website like a house, and all your pages are the rooms. Internal links, those are the hallways that connect everything. A really smart linking structure helps both people and Google find their way around and understand how all your content fits together. And their goal here was super specific. They wanted every important page to be really easy to find, just 2 clicks away from the homepage. But, and this is the brilliant part, they did it without making their main navigation menu a cluttered mess. This was all about adding smart contextual links within the content on their pages. And finally, we get to the 4th pillar, backlinks. These are just links from other websites that point to your site. This is where the team decided to get aggressive, to really speed things up and build on all the great content work they'd already done. So what did aggressive actually look like?
Well, it was a 60-40 blend. 60% of their effort went into getting powerful links pointing directly to their product collection pages, and they used keyword-rich anchor text, meaning the clickable text was literally the keyword they wanted to rank for. The other 40% were more general, branded links to the homepage, which helped boost the whole site's authority.
So, after breaking all that down, what's the big lesson here? The takeaway is actually refreshingly simple. Success doesn't always come from the newest, shiniest tactic. More often than not, it comes from just mastering the basics.
I mean, this quote from the source just says it all. There was no secret sauce. It was simply a disciplined execution of boring fundamentals, done over and over again at a really large scale. That's it. That's what drove over $1 million in new revenue.
And really, that leaves us with a question to think about for ourselves, whether it's for your business, a side project, or even your personal brand. What are the straightforward, fundamental things that, if you just did them with discipline and consistency, could unlock your next big level of growth?